Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. This is about the person on your mind, their exact feelings, and trust me, this one is not soft. We're gonna keep it real raw and unfiltered over here. No fantasy, no guessing, straight truth. And I'm gonna tell you who this person really is, what they're really feeling towards you, and what they're not saying out loud. And yeah, we're gonna find out. But real quick, before we get into it, I still have available for a limited time my 3 for $33 personal reading. You can ask me any 3 questions about this person, your love life, new love, your career, your money, or if you just need grounded real life coaching, I got you. There are things that I can say in a personal reading that I cannot say here on YouTube. And if you know, you know. That link is in the description. Also, if you love the energy over here and you want to see another side of me creatively, I have my music channel XO Janai. It's just a space where I express, create, and share. No pressure, just gratitude if you feel called to subscribe. But both links are in the description. All right, let's get into it. Now, your energy brought you here for a reason. So take a moment, breathe, and let your intuition guide you. Here are your 3 options. Pile 1, the green aventurine crystal. Pile 2, carnelian. Pile 3, amethyst. Pick the one you feel drawn to, not the one you're overthinking. All right? So let's get straight into it. Hey, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. Pile 1, this is about the person on your mind and their exact feelings towards you. Y'all already know how we do it over here. I'm going to tell you about this person, how they feel, how they think, and what they're holding back, and what this connection is really sitting in. Okay? No sugarcoating. But real quick, same reminder that 3 for $33 is still available. There are layers, details, and truths that only come through in a personal reading. And if you're ready for that clarity, the link is there in the description. You can ask me any 3 questions about this person, a new love, a connection, your career, your finances, or if you just need grounded life coaching, I got you. Okay, and don't forget, I have my new music channel, XO Janai, and that's just another part of like my creativity, another side of who I am. And I would be very grateful if you'd like to subscribe to that. No pressure, but the link is in the description. So let's get straight into it. All right, pile 1, you're drawn here to the green aventurine and the 4 of cups. Now, your energy led you to the green aventurine, right? And the 4 of cups, okay? Now, listen, this person is emotionally conflicted as heck, and they think about you more than they admit, but they don't like the position you put them in energetically. Now, this is someone who feels like you woke something up in them that they were comfortable ignoring before you. They are not indifferent. They're overwhelmed. See, because they keep replaying moments with you, conversations with you, the way you made them feel seen. But instead of leaning in, they pulled back. Why? Because you disrupted their emotional routine. And let me be real with you. This person doesn't like feeling exposed, okay? Because you see through them, and that makes them uncomfortable. Now listen closely. This is just the first layer. There are 6 more cards in this pile, and each one is about to peel back another truth about this connection. By the end of this reading, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of you and this person. That frequency is going to tell me whether this connection continues, what shifts next, and what role you actually play in their life moving forward. Okay, so, and I'll also tap into my psychic energy to tie it all together. All right, so let's go deeper. Okay, so now listen, we are going to go ahead and pull your first card and see where the energy is headed as it does relate. You have the Warrior, that's card 1. I'm going to pull your second card and then we will channel both energies together. And you also have Child Wounded. And the card says, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resist moving on through forgiveness. Okay. So let's go ahead and tap into the energy of the Warrior. And then we will move into Child Wounded. Okay. All right. So listen. Listen to me very carefully. This tells me immediately that this connection triggered survival mode in them. This is someone who approaches relationships like a battlefield, always guarded, always armored up, and always prepared for things to go wrong. They don't fall in love easily. They don't trust easily. And when they feel something real, they go into defense, not surrender. Okay? Now, this person feels like they always have to be strong. They don't like needing anyone. They don't like emotional dependence. And your presence in their life made them feel something they could not control. You didn't just catch their attention, you challenged their identity. Because with you, they couldn't stay detached. They couldn't stay numb. And they couldn't pretend they didn't care. So instead of softening, they braced themselves. That's the warrior energy. And here's the thing. This warrior doesn't fight you. They fight their own vulnerability. And that's where this gets deep. Because, honey, when I pulled your second card, it explains exactly why. All right. Now, again, you have Child Wounded. Blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resist moving on through forgiveness. Woo, honey. Let me tell you what this really means. This person is carrying old emotional injuries that they never fully healed. They learned early on that love equals pain, inconsistency, or emotional disappointment. So now, as an adult, they subconsciously expect relationships to hurt. That's why the warrior exists. Okay? Because the warrior was built to protect the wounded child. This person doesn't trust that love can be safe. They don't trust that someone can stay. And instead of working through the pain, they project it. They project it. They pull away. They shut down. They emotionally freeze. And here's the part you need to hear clearly. This isn't because of something you did wrong. You didn't trigger their trauma. You exposed it. Your energy brought their unhealed parts to the surface. And instead of facing them, they armored up. So now we have a warrior who refuses to be vulnerable, and a wounded child who is terrified of abandonment. And those two energies together, they create someone who feels deeply but struggles to show up consistently. Now, don't get it twisted. This person does feel something real for you. But feelings and emotional capacity are two very different things. And we're not done, because we still have 4 more cards in this pile. And those cards are going to tell us whether this person can actually heal, what blocks them from moving forward, and what this connection is really meant to teach you. And at the end of this reading, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, whether it's meant to grow, transform, or complete. So let's go deeper, because the next card, right? This is the one that explains what they're doing right now when they think about you. And trust me, it's not what they're saying out loud. Okay? So let's go. Card 3. What is the energy as it does relate? What is the energy? It says, looking you up, cyber stalking, studying you, getting info. That part right there. Listen. This is your third card is the stalker, okay? And before anybody gets weird, let's talk about energy, not labels. This card is about watching, observing, checking, studying. The energy here says, looking you up, silently watching, gathering information. Now listen, this person is very aware of you. They may not be reaching out, they may not be saying much, but that does not mean they're detached. This is someone who keeps tabs quietly. They check your social media, they notice your energy shifts, and they pay attention to when you post and when you don't. They're trying to understand you without exposing themselves. Remember, we already saw the warrior and the wounded child, so this makes perfect sense. The warrior doesn't approach directly. The wounded child is afraid of rejection. So what do they do instead? They observe from a distance. They want to know, are you happy without them? Are you moving on? Are you still emotionally open to them? And yes, they're gathering information before making any move. This isn't obsession. This is unresolved attachment mixed with fear. They are not ready to act yet, but they are not disconnected. And here's where it gets interesting, because we have here a warrior guarding their heart, a wounded child afraid of repeating the past, and now the stalker energy showing silent monitoring. So that tells me that this person is internally far more involved than they appear externally. But we're still not done. We still have 3 more cards to go in this pile. And those cards are going to tell us what stops them from speaking up, and whether they actually plan to come forward, and how this connection ultimately plays out energetically. And at the end, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of you and this person, what this connection really is, and where it's headed. So let's keep going. Because the fourth card, that one is about their next move or lack of one. Okay, so will they move or not? Let's see. What is the energy spirit as it does relate? Y'all, let's see what's coming through. You got Gemini. Gemini in the house, y'all. Okay, so here's the thing with Gemini. Here's what I'm picking up. Now listen, this immediately tells me that this connection is mentally active, not dead. So Gemini energy is about thinking, watching, replaying, analyzing, communicating. Even when nothing is being said, this person thinks about you a lot. They go back and forth in their mind, wanting to reach out, then talking themselves out of it, then missing you, then convincing themselves they're fine. It's mental ping pong. 1 minute, they feel close to you. The next minute, they pull away. Not because their feelings change, but because their thoughts override their emotions. Gemini energy also tells me this. They want communication, but they are scared of what it will lead to. Because communication opens the door to vulnerability, and we already saw the warrior, the wounded child, and the silent watching. So instead of speaking, they think. Instead of acting, they analyze. Instead of moving forward, they stay mentally connected. And here's something important. Gemini energy means unfinished conversations, things left unsaid, questions still hanging in the air, thoughts they replay but never voice. That's why this connection still feels active to you. You're not imagining it. The mental cord is still there. Now let's be clear. Gemini energy doesn't stay stuck forever. It reaches a point where something has to be said, or the mind gets exhausted. And that brings us to the next layer. Because we still have 2 more cards left in this pile. And those cards are going to show whether this mental back and forth turns into action or whether this person stays stuck in their head. And then I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it really is and what it's teaching you. So let's keep going, because the next card, right? This one reveals whether this energy finally moves or stays exactly where it is. Let's go. All right, so what is the energy as it does relate? Card 5. You got girl talk. The card says time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. Okay, so let me just say this. Okay. Listen to me very carefully. This card is not about you chasing. This card is not about you waiting, and it's definitely not about you being stuck. This is your energy shifting. See, whether you realize it fully yet or not, you've started to emotionally detach in a healthy way. You're laughing more, you're talking to friends, you're reclaiming your life, and you're living in the moment again. And let me tell you something important. This is exactly what they're noticing. Remember that watching energy? Yeah. They see you moving differently. They see you lighter, less available, less emotionally invested in them. And here's where the Gemini mind starts spiraling. Because now they're thinking, are they really moving on? Are they happier without me? Did I wait too long? This card shows a power shift. You're not doing anything to them. You're just living. And that's what makes this hit harder. Because the warrior hates losing control. And the wounded child fears being left behind. So when they see you happy, unbothered, socially connected, and present, that shakes them. Now let's be clear. This doesn't mean you're done with the connection. It means that you stopped centering it. And energetically, that always changes the dynamic. Now, we have one final card left in this pile. And this last card is important because it tells us whether this person actually steps up or whether this connection completes its lesson right here. And then I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it really is, and what it's doing in your life. So let's finish strong because the final card, that one, it brings it all together. So let's go. What is the energy? All right, as it does relate. And let's see what is coming through. Let's see what's coming through. All right. You got Page of Pentacles. Pentacle energy is always Earth, y'all. And it rules over the Earth zodiacs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. So it's physical, right? I'm going to tell you what's coming through as it does relate to this person on your mind. Okay. Like I said, this is physical. Okay? Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. So, of course, this energy could be in the top placements of your birth chart, astrologically, or theirs. It could be in the sun, moon, rising signs, 7th house of relationships, or the planet Venus. This is physical, not fantasy. This is about real world movement, not just feelings. Now, let me tell you what's coming through as it does relate to this person on your mind. This person is slowly shifting out of their head and into the idea of doing something tangible. Page of Pentacles is not grand gestures. It's not. And it's not dramatic confessions. It's testing the waters, small steps, practical effort, and seeing if something can actually grow. See, because this person is asking themselves, is this safe to invest in? Can this become something real? Is it worth the risk? And that's important because remember what we saw? The warrior, guarded, defensive. The wounded child, afraid of repeating the past. The watching energy, silent but present. Gemini, mental back and forth, girl talk, you living, detaching, thriving. All of that forced a shift. Now they are realizing if they don't ground this, they might actually lose access to you. Page of Pentacles says they're not rushing, but they are considering showing up differently, more consistent, more intentional, more real. Now, let's talk about the total energetic frequency of this connection. The frequency of this connection is unfinished, awakening, and choice-based. This is not a dead connection, but it is not guaranteed. This connection exists to show you how much emotional labor you no longer do, how you stop over-explaining, and how your peace changes the dynamic. Their feelings are real, but their pace is slow. And here's the truth. This connection only moves forward if they meet you on the physical level. Not words, not thoughts, actions. If they don't, you don't chase, you don't wait, you keep living exactly like the girl talk energy showed, because the power here is with you. You shifted the frequency first, and now they are trying to catch up. Okay? So let's go ahead and close this out. This reading showed why they pulled back, what they're doing behind the scenes, and how your energy changed everything, and what's possible if they step up. If this reading resonated with you and you want clarity on your specific situation, remember, my 3 for $33 is still available. You can ask me any 3 questions about this relationship, a new love, your career, your finances, or if you just need grounded life coaching, I got you. And if you love the energy over here and you want to connect with me creatively, my new YouTube music channel, XO Janai, is linked below. I love y'all. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Clarity Family, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. This is about the person on your mind, their exact feelings, and what's really going on beneath the surface. Y'all already know how we do it over here. We're not doing no surface level readings over here, okay? We're going to talk about who this person really is, how they really feel about you, and what they're doing with those feelings, and where this connection is actually headed. Okay? No fantasies, no pretending, no fluff. We're going to find out. But real quick, I still have available for a limited time my 3 for $33 personal reading. You can ask me any 3 questions about this person, a new love, your career, your finances, or if you just want grounded real life coaching where I keep it honest and practical, honey. There are things that I can see in a personal reading that I cannot say here on YouTube. And if you're ready for that clarity on your exact situation, that link is in the description, okay? And if you love the energy over here and you want to see another side of my creativity, my new music channel, XO Janai, is also linked below. All right, Pile 2, let's get into it. Your energy brought you here to the Carnelian Crystal and the Justice card. And let me tell you right now that this person is weighing you heavily. Justice energy means accountability, cause and effect, truth versus avoidance. This person knows exactly what they did, and they know exactly how they made you feel. There's no confusion here. They're not asking, did I mess this up? They're asking, how do I live with the consequences of this? Because here's the thing. You didn't just affect their emotions. You affected their self-image. Justice comes up when someone realizes, I can't blame this on timing. I can't blame this on circumstances. I played a role in how this turned out. This person sees you as someone who reflects truth back to them, and that makes them uncomfortable. Carnelian energy adds another layer. Carnelian is desire, confidence, physical attraction. So yes, they are still attracted to you. They feel that pull. But justice says they also feel exposed. You didn't let them get away with half effort. You didn't shrink yourself to make them comfortable. And that changed the dynamic. And listen, this is only the first card. You have 6 more cards to go in this pile, and each one is going to reveal what they're holding back, what they want but won't admit, and how this connection actually resolves. So by the end of this reading, I'm going to tap into the total energetic frequency of this person, and we're going to see where this is going, what's changing, and what you're meant to do with this energy. All right, so let's go ahead and pull your first card. All right, this is card 1. What is the energy as it does relate? You got the venom. Let's go ahead and pull card 2. Card 2, you have guide, but it is in reverse, and it's the shadow attribute. It says, places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So that's the guide in reverse. That's card 2. But let's go ahead and tap into the energy of card 1, which is the venom, and then we'll move here straight to card 2, which is guide. All right, let's talk about this, because venom energy is resentment, bitterness, unspoken anger, and emotions that were never processed properly. This person is carrying toxic emotional residue, not because they're evil, but because they didn't say what they needed to say when it mattered. They swallowed their feelings. They avoided confrontation, and they let things build. And now that energy leaks out sideways. Passive-aggressive behavior, cold moments, withholding, power plays. This person felt exposed by you. And instead of being honest, they let resentment grow. See, venom doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from someone who feels misunderstood, outplayed, or emotionally cornered. And let me be real, they don't like that you saw through them. You challenged their control. And that's why venom shows up here. Okay? Now let's go straight into card 2, because this explains why that venom exists. The guide in reverse. And this is important because upright, like we said, the guide is wisdom, integrity, and higher vision. But in reverse, the shadow attribute says, places financial gain and control over important spiritual insight. Woo! This person is prioritizing control, status, money, or security over emotional truth. They measure relationships in what they gain, not what they grow. This doesn't mean they don't care. It means they override their intuition when it conflicts with their ego. They know better, but they don't always do better. This is someone who avoids emotional vulnerability, prefers leverage over surrender, and chooses comfort over growth. So when you came in with truth, clarity, and self-respect, that threatened their internal hierarchy. And that's where the venom came from. Because instead of asking, what is this teaching me? They asked, how do I stay on top? Now let me tie these two cards together. The venom plus the guide reversed. This person feels emotionally challenged by you, but doesn't want to lose control. So they suppress, they rationalize, they justify, and that creates internal conflict. They're not at peace with how things ended, but they're also not ready to surrender their defenses, which tells me one thing very clearly. This connection hit a nerve. You weren't casual to them. You weren't forgettable. You weren't insignificant. You disrupted their value system. And they haven't fully processed that yet. Now listen, we are not done. We still have 4 more cards in this pile. And those cards are going to show what this person does with this venom and whether they transmute it or let it rot, and how this connection ultimately resolves. And at the end, listen, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of you and this person, where this is actually headed and what role you play in the outcome. So let's keep moving, because the next card, that one tells me what they're hiding under all this control. Let's go ahead and do it. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Okay. Card 3. And you got no facts, all vibes, no receipts, talking nonsense, messy storyteller. That part right there. So listen. We're getting into how this person communicates. All right? This person rewrites the narrative to protect their ego. And they speak in feelings, not facts. They tell stories that sound good, but they don't always line up with reality. They're very good at implying instead of explaining, deflecting instead of owning, and making things vague so they don't have to be accountable. This is someone who says, I felt like, I thought you meant, I assumed. But when you ask for clarity, there's nothing solid. No follow through, no proof, no consistency. And let me be real with you. This ties directly back to the venom and the guide in reverse. Because when someone avoids accountability, prioritizes control, and doesn't want to face the truth, they start talking around the issue. They twist details. They soften their role, and they make themselves sound more reasonable than they were. And that's why dealing with this person felt confusing. You weren't crazy. The story kept changing. One day it was this. Next day it was that. Same situation, different explanation. That's messy energy. And here's the part they don't like. You see through it. You ask real questions. You notice contradictions. You don't just accept vibes without receipts. And that made them uncomfortable. Now, we're starting to see a pattern here. Justice. Accountability is unavoidable. Venom. Resentment from feeling exposed. Guide reversed. Choosing control over growth. No facts, all vibes. Avoiding the truth. This person knows that they haven't been fully honest with you or themselves. But we're still not done. We have 3 more cards in this pile, and those cards are going to show whether they ever clean this up, what happens when the truth catches up, and how this connection ultimately plays out. At the end, I'm giving you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it's here to teach you, and whether it has legs. So let's keep going, because the next card, that one exposes what they're actually afraid of losing. Let's go. All right. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right. And you got Capricorn. Now listen, Capricorn energy is about control, image, status, and long-term outcomes. This person is not moving off impulse. They're calculating. They care deeply about how they're perceived, what they lose or gain, and whether they come out looking right. This explains everything we've already seen. Capricorn plus justice. That is someone who knows the truth matters, but still wants to control the narrative. Capricorn plus venom. That's suppressed resentment because they don't feel they lost fairly. Capricorn plus no facts, all vibes. That's someone trying to sound composed while avoiding full accountability. This person doesn't want to look like the bad guy. They don't want consequences. And they definitely don't want to admit they misplayed this. So instead of being emotionally vulnerable, they go into strategic mode. They think, when is the right time? How do I regain control? How do I protect my image? And here's the key. Capricorn energy also means slow but deliberate. If they move, it won't be impulsive. It'll be measured. But if they don't move, it's because they decided it wasn't worth the risk to their pride. Now, let me be very clear. This person feels the weight of this connection, but they are filtering everything through ego and outcome, not emotion. And that's important for you to know, because we still have 2 more cards left in this pile. Right? And those cards are going to tell us whether this Capricorn energy softens or whether they double down on control. And then I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it really is, and what you're meant to do next. So let's keep going, because the next card, that one reveals the turning point. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? See what's coming through. Seduction. The card says attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. Okay. Now look, y'all. Listen, and listen closely, because this is not innocent energy. This person is very aware of their pull, and they use attention as a distraction. Seduction here isn't about love, it's about avoidance. When emotions get too real, this person diverts. Okay? They flirt, they entertain options, they keep things light, surface level, and tempting. Why? Because seduction gives them control without accountability. This ties directly back to what we already saw. Capricorn, image, control, strategy. No facts, all vibes, talking around the truth. Guide, reversed, choosing gain and power over insight. Venom, resentment they won't process. So instead of sitting with discomfort, they seek validation. Attention soothes their ego. Options make them feel powerful, and temptation keeps them from having to go deep. Now, here's the important part. This does not mean they don't feel something for you. It means that they don't know how to sit with intensity without running to something easier. And yes, there may be third-party energy around them. Not necessarily someone serious, but distractions. People they talk to, people they flirt with, people who require less emotional depth. And let me be clear, none of that replaces you. It just delays truth, because seduction energy is temporary. It fades fast. And once it does, they're left with what they avoided. Now, we have one final card left in this pile. And that last card, that one tells us whether this stays surface level or whether reality finally catches up, and how this connection ultimately resolves. After that, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it's here to teach you, and whether it's meant to continue or complete. So let's finish strong, because the final card, that's the truth, they can't flirt their way out of. So let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Yeah, they can't flirt their way out of this. This is card 6. You have the 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups. All right, so cup energy is emotional. It's water. It does resonate with the water zodiacs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. And of course, that energy could be anywhere in the top placements of your birth chart or theirs. It could be found in the sun, moon, rising sign, the 7th house of relationships, or even the planet Venus. Okay, now let's talk. Because the 3 of Cups is social energy, but it's not commitment energy. This card is about keeping things light, group settings, casual interactions, shared spaces, shared attention. This person likes access without responsibility. They enjoy the vibe. They enjoy the connection. They enjoy the attention, but they don't want pressure. So what do? They keep things in a space where they don't have to define anything. They don't have to go deep, and they don't have to choose. 3 of Cups plus seduction tells me this clearly. They are comfortable circulating energy, but not anchoring it. And that matters, because now let's zoom out and look at the full picture. Total energetic frequency, pile 2. The total energetic frequency of this connection is attraction without grounding, interest without accountability, awareness without action. This person is drawn to you, yes. They feel challenged by you, yes. They are affected by you, absolutely. But they are still operating from ego, control, image, and convenience. They want the connection on their terms. And here's the truth you need to hear. This connection does not move forward unless they radically change how they show up. Because right now, the energy is flirting instead of clarity, social access instead of emotional presence, vibes instead of facts. And you're not built for that. This connection came into your life to show you how quickly you spot inconsistency, how you don't chase mixed signals, and how your standards expose who can't meet them. If this person wants to stay in your life, they'll have to step out of the crowd and meet you one-on-one. Honestly, if they don't, the lesson completes itself and you move on clean, not confused. So let's close this out. Pile 2, this reading showed you what they feel, how they avoid, why they stay surface level, and what this connection is really offering. If this reading resonated and you want clarity specific to your situation, or you want to ask about a new relationship, a new love coming in, your career, your finances, or if you just need grounded life coaching, my 3 for $33 personal reading is still available. So you're not guessing anymore, okay? Now, if you love the energy over here, don't forget to check out my music channel, my new YouTube music channel, XO Janai. Both links are in the description. I love y'all. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And I'll see you in the next one. Clarity family, pile 3, welcome to your reading. This is about the person on your mind, their exact feelings, what they're thinking, what they're doing behind the scenes, and what this connection is really about. Y'all already know how we do it over here. We're not here to romanticize confusion. We're not here to water things down. We are going to talk about this person, who they are, how they move, and why this connection feels the way it does. Yeah, we're going to find out. But real quick, I still have, for a limited time, my 3 for $33 personal reading. You can ask me any 3 questions about this person, a new love, your career, your finances, or if you just want grounded real life coaching, where I tell you what you need to hear, not just what feels good. There are details that I can pick up in a personal reading that I cannot say on YouTube. So if you're ready for clarity on your specific situation, that link is in the description. And if you love the energy over here, make sure you check out my music channel, XO Janai, here on YouTube, and that link is below as well. All right, pile 3, let's get into it. Your energy brought you here to the Amethyst Crystal and the Page of Swords. Now, let me say this right out the gate. This person is mentally obsessed, not emotionally settled. Page of Swords energy is watching, thinking, analyzing, replaying conversations, and staying curious without committing. So, this person is very aware of you. They watch what you say, they remember details, they notice patterns. But instead of acting on their feelings, they stay in their head. They ask questions internally like, what does this mean? Why do I feel this way? What are they really thinking? This is someone who prefers information over vulnerability. An amethyst, that tells me this connection is mentally and energetically stimulating. You didn't just attract them, you intrigued them. See, you challenged how they think. You made them question their assumptions, and you disrupted their mental routine. And let me be real, they like that. Okay? They like that. But the Page of Swords also shows immaturity in execution. They think more than they act. They observe more than they engage. They gather data instead of making decisions. So if you felt like they're curious but inconsistent, interested but not fully present, mentally connected but emotionally elusive, honey, you are not imagining it. You're not. The Page of Swords energy, okay? That's the Page of Swords energy. Now listen, this is only card 1. You have 6 more cards in this pile. And each one is going to reveal another layer of what this person is thinking, what they are hiding, and how they really feel underneath the mental noise. And by the end of this reading, I'm going to tap into the total energetic frequency of this connection. And that frequency is going to tell us where this is headed and whether this person ever grounds this, or whether this connection was meant to wake you up and move you forward. All right, let's keep going. What is the energy as it does relate? Card 1. You got the tear. All right. The tear represents the emotions and the water zodiac, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. I'm going to tell you what that energy is, but let's go ahead and pull card 2 as well, and then we'll tap into both energies. Card 2 is slave. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the tear. Now listen, the tear represents emotion, and it connects directly to water energy, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. So this is not surface level curiosity anymore. This person is emotionally affected by you. They don't just think about you, they feel you. But here's the thing about the tear. This is unexpressed emotion, quiet emotion, private emotion, emotion that doesn't get spoken out loud. This person has moments where they feel regret, sadness, longing, and emotional vulnerability, right? Because they replay what they should have said. They feel the weight of what was left unresolved. But instead of expressing it, they internalize it. So yes, this person has emotional depth when it comes to you, but they struggle to own it openly. And that's where it starts getting real, because now, honey, let's go straight into card 2. And this explains why that emotion stays bottled up. Card 2 is the slave. And the shadow attribute says, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Woo, honey. Now let me tell you exactly what this means. This person does not trust themselves emotionally. They let fear, conditioning, past programming, other people's expectations dictate how they move. So instead of asking, what do I actually want? They ask, what's expected of me? What's safest? What keeps me from messing this up? And when they feel something deep, like the emotion shown in the tear, they suppress it because following their heart feels risky. Okay, they have learned to surrender their power to rules, roles, obligations, or outside influence. This could be family expectations, social pressure, work demands, or even a dominant personality from their past. So let's go ahead and tie in these two energies together. The tear plus the slave. This person feels deeply, but they don't feel free. They want connection, but they don't feel empowered to choose it boldly. They fear making the wrong move. They fear disappointing someone. They fear stepping outside the structure they live in. So instead of choosing you openly, they stay emotionally quiet. And here's the part you need to hear. This has nothing to do with your worth. This is about their relationship with autonomy. You didn't scare them away. You made them feel something they didn't feel allowed to act on. That's why this connection feels intense, but stalled. Now, we're still not done. We have 4 more cards left in this pile. And those cards are going to tell us whether this person ever reclaims their power, what breaks this emotional paralysis, and whether this connection moves forwards or completes. And at the end, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it's here to teach you, and where it's ultimately headed. So let's keep going, because the next card, that one reveals what actually keeps them stuck. Let's go. All right. Here we go. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through? You got kissing ass. Oh, woo. Okay. That part right there, y'all. Look, it came through. It did what it did. Okay. Now listen, this is not random and this is not subtle. This card is about people pleasing, appeasing authority, smoothing things over instead of being real, and saying what they think others want to hear. This person prioritizes approval over authenticity. And now let's connect the dots. We already saw the tear, right? We saw the tear, deep, private emotion. The slave giving power away out of fear. And now kissing ass, over accommodating to avoid conflict. This person doesn't move from their truth. They move from fear of disapproval. They are constantly adjusting themselves to keep the peace. Stay light. Avoid rocking the boat. So instead of choosing what they actually want, they choose what keeps them safe. They smile. They nod. They comply. But inside, they are emotionally backed up. This is someone who would rather appease others, follow the script, stay in line. They rather do that than risk being judged for choosing differently. And here's the part that matters for you. You don't require performance. You require honesty. And that's why this connection feels frustrating. Because you're dealing with someone who feels deeply, the tear, but won't claim their power, the slave, and constantly looks outside themselves for validation, kissing ass. So instead of stepping up for you, they stay stuck, trying to keep everyone else comfortable. Now listen, this isn't malicious, it's conditioned, but it is limiting. And it explains why they hesitate, they delay, they avoid making clear choices, because they don't want to upset anyone, even if that means disappointing themselves. Now, we still have 3 more cards in this pile, and those cards are going to show whether this person ever breaks, what pushes them to reclaim their voice, and what role you play in that shift. And then I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it's really about, and where it's headed. So let's keep going. Because the next card, that one shows the turning point and the moment where something has to give. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right, card 4. This is debilitated, discomfort. This is a astrological placement, and I'm going to explain to you what this means as it relates to this connection. All right. Let me explain this exactly. Debilitated energy means a planet is in a sign where it cannot function comfortably. So the energy is there, but it's strained, restricted, awkward, misfiring. Translation: this person is operating outside of their emotional skill set. Now let's connect it to what we already saw. The tear, which is deep emotions they don't express. The slave, fear of choosing themselves, kissing ass, people pleasing to stay safe. Debilitated discomfort says they are emotionally unequipped for the situation you represent. You require emotional presence, honesty, autonomy, grounded decision making. And this person, they're not comfortably there, okay? They're not comfortable there. So when they are around you, they feel exposed, uncertain, off balance, unsure of how to perform correctly. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you activate parts of them they haven't developed yet. This is someone who feels like, I don't know how to show up here. I don't know what the right move is. I don't trust myself to handle this. So instead of leaning in, they tense up. They overthink. They defer. They comply with outside expectations instead of listening to their inner truth. Debilitated discomfort also explains the hesitation. Because yes, they want connection, but not at the cost of feeling incompetent emotionally. And you unknowingly highlight that gap. Now, here's the key thing I want you to hear. This discomfort is not a punishment, it's a growth opportunity. But growth only happens when someone chooses to work through the discomfort instead of running from it. And right now, they're still running. Now, we still have 2 more cards left in this pile. And those cards are going to tell us whether this person ever strengthens this weak point or whether they stay stuck avoiding discomfort. And then I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it's really here to teach you, and where it's ultimately headed. So let's keep going, because the next card, that one tells me whether this discomfort becomes growth or the reason this stays stalled. Let's go. All right, what is the energy as it does relate? Now let's see what's coming through. You got I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun, flirting, want to date. Okay. So now pause, because this card is important. This tells me very clearly the feelings are real. This person is not numb. They are not indifferent. They are not emotionally empty. They like you. They enjoy your presence. They feel chemistry. They feel curiosity turning into affection. This is the part of them that wants to flirt, laugh, connect, date. The part of them that imagines possibility. But here's where the tension comes in. Let's line this up with everything we've already seen. The tear. Deep but unspoken emotion. The slave. Fear of choosing for themselves. Kissing ass. People pleasing over honesty. Debilitated discomfort. Emotionally out of their depth. So yes, romance is blooming internally, But liking someone and being able to handle the connection are two different things. This card shows desire without confidence. They want you, but they don't yet trust themselves to show up correctly. They enjoy flirting because it's safe, and they enjoy fun because it doesn't demand decisions. Dating energy is there, but commitment energy, that's where the discomfort kicks in. And this is where a lot of people get confused because the signals feel warm, but the follow through feels shaky. And that's not because the feelings are fake. It's because the emotional infrastructure isn't built yet. Now listen closely, that this card tells me this connection is alive, but it's sitting at a crossroads. And that crossroad is answered by one final card because we still have card 6. And that last card is going to tell us whether this liking energy grows into something stable or whether it stays stuck at a flirting and fantasy. After that, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what it's here to teach you, and where it's actually headed. So let's finish this properly because the final card, that one, describes the outcome. So let's go. All right. Oh, I want to place this card here. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's go ahead and get card 6. What is the energy as it does relate what's coming through? All right, you got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so listen, this card is about lack, insecurity, feeling unworthy, and fear of not being enough. This person does not feel emotionally secure. Not with you, within themselves. The 5 of Pentacles shows someone who feels behind in life, unsure of their value, and afraid that they can't measure up, worried that they'll fail if they try. So let's connect everything we've seen. The tear, deep emotion, they don't express. The slave, fear of choosing for themselves. Kissing ass, people pleasing to stay safe. Debilitated discomfort, emotionally out of their depth. I like you. Real attraction and desire. 5 of Pentacles. Feeling inadequate and afraid. This person likes you genuinely, but they don't feel worthy of you. They feel like you're ahead, more emotionally evolved, more confident, more grounded. And instead of that inspiring them, it intimidates them. 5 of Pentacles is the energy of, I don't belong here. I might mess this up. I don't have enough to offer. So they hover at the edge of connection instead of stepping fully inside it. Now, let's talk about what this means overall. The total energetic frequency, pile 3. The total energetic frequency of this connection is real feelings plus low self-worth plus emotional avoidance. This connection is emotionally genuine, but structurally unstable. They feel something real for you. They are intrigued. They are attracted. They want to date. But they are operating from fear instead of confidence, lack instead of self-trust, compliance instead of choice. This connection exists to show you something very important. Love alone is not enough. Emotional chemistry does not replace emotional readiness. And this is key. You are not meant to shrink, slow down, or dim yourself to make this easier for them. If they want to meet you, they have to step out of the cold themselves. You can't rescue from the 5 of Pentacles energy. They have to walk themselves back inside. So let's close this out. Pile 3. This reading showed you why the feelings feel real and why the movement feels limited and why this connection feels emotionally heavy at times. This person sees you, they feel you, they like you. But until they build self-worth and autonomy, this connection can only go so far. If this reading resonated and you want clarity specific to your situation, my 3 for $33 personal reading is still available. You can ask about this person, a new love, your career, your finances, or get grounded real life coaching so you're not guessing anymore. And if you love the energy over here, don't forget to check out my music channel, XO Janai. Both links are in the description. I love y'all. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And I'll see you in the next one.